Okay, so it's uh, in loops we are inserting 150, 155 records, right? So now how to fix this issue? So we have given a clue that we instead of removing instead of inserting one record, we have to collect all the records and we have to insert, right? So how to do that?
So you build a list or a collection item and then do one insert or.
So list of what? What we have to define? What variables I have to define?
List would be the account.
Yeah, very good. List account list. Okay. ACC insert. I can say ACC insert. Okay. So we have seen.
List.
Yeah, we have seen that why we have to instantiate that, right? Because
Account parenthesis. Yeah.
this is a constructor. Now this is our list variable. Okay. Now what is a method to collect the data? What methods we use to collect the data in list? So ACC insert is a list. Now I need to collect the data, each record, like multiple, whenever each time this loop, we have to collect one record and we have to store into the ACC insert. Yes.
You add to each occurrence?
Yeah, what method we have to use? Add method. Okay, add what? So where we are collecting the each record? ACC. Yes, ACC we have to collect. Okay. For this, to understand this line, yesterday and day before yesterday, what we worked on. The list set map methods.
Yeah.
Okay. So now ACC insert is a account list variable, which will hold the number of account records using so what is add? Add is a list method, which will help to add an element. Here, element is a account record. Now where we have all the collection, all the data we have in ACC insert. Now out of, okay, these are loop block, out of the loop, we have to go and say insert. Insert, what we have to insert?
ACC insert.
ACC.
ACC insert, very good. Okay, now let me execute this. So it is success, right? It is success. We can see. Okay, let's see how many records, number of DML statements. How many DML statement is executed? We got issue here, right? 150 DML statements.
Right.
Now it is only one statement. Only one statement. We insert execute only once, and it is inserted 155 records. How many rows it is inserted? Number of DML rows is
155.
So one statement, it inserted 155 records. Right? For one statement, it inserted 155 records. Let's see where is the count tab. That all the, okay, all 150 record is inserted.
Okay, question. Can a user delete a record using the UI?
Sorry, can we?
Can a user, so you have like 159 records here, right? For some
Mhm.
reason, one record the user thinks is not valid. So can they go and delete it here in the front end?
Yeah.
Okay.
User can delete it?
Any user can delete it. If user
Okay.
has the permission.
Okay.
If user have the delete record permission, user can delete the record. Right? If a business user have the access to delete the record, yes, user can go and delete. Okay. That's good. So that's how we use list set map. Please practice this. Okay. It's very important. So you have to work with all the methods. Okay. Try to use all the methods, list set map methods. Okay. Just go and at least every day 1.5 hours required now. So in coming days, it may increase. Now, at least 1.5 hours you have to practice with all the list, take a list set map, at least 1 hour with the list and another 1 hour with the set map. Okay, you can just do the time management and practice this list set map methods. I say, okay, whatever the links I shared. Hope you have shared those links. Okay, so here we learned how to, okay, so in the basic building blocks, we are working on the collections variables, that is list set map. Okay, also we have seen how to write a code. Now, using the anonymous window, how to write Apex. This is not Apex class, this is not a trigger. It's a code, Apex code block. This is a Apex code block. And this is the best example that how we can easily connect to the database, right? How we are connecting to the database. We are not using any connection classes. We are not writing any like connection. We are not creating any connection to the database. Directly it is connected to the database. Okay. If you take any programming language, what are the 3 common steps we see in every programming? In every programming language, if you take any programming language, there are 3 common steps. What we see. If you take any example,
Declare
okay.
variables.
Yes, that is a part of the programming. Very good. Why we declare variable? Yes, very good. I declare a variable list account ACC. I declare this variable. Why? What is the ACC? ACC is a list of collection. It's a list of accounts. It's a list of, it holds the account list. Why you have created this? Why you have defined this variable?
To build data to insert or add to the database and or retrieve data from the database to a list.
Excellent. Retrieve. Every programming, the common step what we do is, first you have to retrieve the data. First you have to retrieve the data. I'll give a simple example. Are you using the ATM machines to withdraw the amount?
Yeah.
Any chance? Okay. Are you using that? Very good. So we use the card, the debit card, or debit cards. We go to the ATM machines to withdraw the cash. So what is the process? First, you will insert your card. And once you insert the card, what happens?
Your account is certified.
Once you insert the card, what happens is, so the moment you insert your card, it will read your data. maybe you are withdrawing from the different bank. Okay. So wherever the data, centralized data is there, so for what it will do first, it will retrieve your bank account information and ask the authentication PIN or whatever the authentication code. Then it will validate it will do the authentication process. Then once it retrieve the data from the database, what happened next? You try to withdraw the amount. You entered, like, for example, $1,000. Your account is having only $500. Will you get the money, right? You're trying to withdraw $1,000, but in your account you have only $500. So you'll not be able to withdraw the amount. Okay, you'll not able to withdraw the amount. So what is that? That is a conditional check. That is a processing the data, like condition check. So always we have to, the condition check is, always the step 2 is processing the logic implementation. Logic implementation. In this ATM example, what you have to check? The user, what are the amount user entered to the bank? Do the bank have the sufficient balance or not? If not, throw error message. If available, the user can able to withdraw the amount. After, let's say, user have the $2,000, user is withdraw $1,000. Now what happened? User withdraw $1,000 and user actually was having 2,000. So what is the now update account? What happened?
Balance
The date
decrease.
will get update, right? You will be doing the update operation, any DML operation, insert, update. You will basically save data. It's not about only update. You will be saving the data. So 3 steps: retrieve the record, process the data, and save the data. This is the 3 steps you will do in every programming. Whatever the code you will take, this is many programming. So you'll be doing this. So you need to know. So you have to understand what data I need to retrieve. So for that, what variable I need to declare. Once I get the data into my variable, how to process the data? That is logic implementation, processing the data. Once the logic implementation done, how you will save the data, right? So once you withdraw $1,000, the remaining amount, it should send to your server. And once that data is updated, you will get a message. When you will receive a message, once the transaction is successfully completed, immediately you will get a mail, messages and all. That is the post logic. Once you save the data. So these 3 steps, if you remember, the development will be very easy for you. So first you will retrieve the data. Your thought process will be like this. Okay, what data I need to retrieve? How you will retrieve the data? Now question is, how you will retrieve the data? So far we have not retrieved the data. Now how we will retrieve the data? Okay, to retrieve the data, here we use SOQL, SOSL queries. We use SOQL and SOSL queries. To retrieve the data, we use SOQL and SOSL queries. So what SOQL written, what SOSL written, we will discuss this in detail. Okay, like list set map, how we understood. In the same way, we will understand how to use SOQL and SOSL. What is this SOQL and SOSL? These are the query languages. Do you know SQL? MySQL, SQL. This is a similar like SQL only. SOQL stands for Salesforce Object Query Language. SOSL is a Salesforce Object Search Language. So most we use SOQL, same like as SQL queries, which will start from select fields from table where condition, same like SQL. This will be very easy. Okay. Now implementation the logic. So once you use the queries, retrieve the data, store the data into variables, what we had used in our previous session, list set map variables, and we have to use those variables and using the if conditions, loop statements, all the like we can say conditional statements, operators, we all use and predefined functions. We use all this to implement the logic. This is completely, it depends on your like problem solving skills, your aptitude. Okay, how cool you will solve the problem. For the same solution, you may end up with like 3 lines of code or 100 lines of code. It depends how you will, what is your thinking, the thought process. Okay. So third is, once you are done with all the implementation, the code, the logic implementation, now we have to save the data. How we save the data? How we save the data? Here to save the data, we use
Commit.
DML statements. Yeah, we have used DML statements. DML statements or database methods. We will understand. Okay. So we will understand how to use DML statements and what are the database methods. In this, we already learned DML statements, that is insert. We have recently done insert. That is a DML statement. Insert, update, delete. These are the DML statements. And there are debug database methods. There are database methods. We are going to learn the database methods. Okay, so the complete development, we have to understand this. In every, not only Salesforce, if you take any programming language, we are going to like writing a code is nothing but you are doing the automation. Automatically, you are updating some data based on some conditions, right? What is a code? What does the programming means? What does the development means? When you thought about this development process, like it's apart from the UI development is different. The UI development is a design, how you design UI. But backend logic, implement the backend logic. You are retrieving the data, you are processing the data, and you are saving the data to database. If you remember these 3 steps, you'll be easily handle the code. It's not a very difficult job. Okay. So here what we need to learn? Here we need to learn SOQL. And here in Salesforce, we have to learn SOQL. In other languages, every language have some query in whatever the database they are using, right? Based on that, you will retrieve the data. Based on that, you will be retrieving the data. Okay. Now we need to understand SOSL. We need to understand SOSL. What is SOSL? SOQL and SOSL. So these are the query languages. SOQL and SOSL are the query languages to retrieve the data. So here we have query editor. we can use the query editor tab and we can write a queries here. So enter SOQL or SOSL queries. So SOQL queries will start with a select statement. SOQL queries start with select statement. Okay, and we have to follow the SOQL query start with select statement, and you have to follow with the fields. If I want to retrieve the account records or contact records, how to retrieve the contact records? So select, for example, let's say name from object API name. Select name from contact. So what field we have selected? Only name field. Let me execute this. Oh, you see that 20 we got how many records? So we retrieve only name. Additionally, let's say I want to add email. Here we have to use only the field API names. Only the field API names. So yesterday we worked on the requirement object, right? Oh, sorry, that. Okay, we have an object called requirement. Select a name from the requirement. I cannot give this requirement like this. If I execute, it says no field. No field available with the name, no object with the name requirement. So what is the API name? _c. The custom object always have the _c. That is the API name. Now you can see requirement 1, requirement 2. We retrieve the data which is available in the requirement object. So we must use the API name of the object, the API name of the field. The API name of the field, the API name of the object. Everything we have to use API names. So any fields, you can write any fields, like for example, select a name, email, phone, title from contact. Name, email, phone, title from contact. Difficult? The SOQL query is same like SQL queries, right? It's the same like SQL query. It's the same like SQL query. So you can write any field names here, but all the field names should be the API names. We have to use the API names. Can we limit? Okay, now I want to limit. Only I need to retrieve 10 records. It may be returning more records. You maybe have thousands of records. I need to only 10 records. How can I get only 10 records? So in SOQL, we have a statement called limit class. We have a limit class. If I say limit 10, what happened? It return only, now it is returning 21 records. If I say limit 10, what happened? It retrieve only it retrieves only 10 records. Okay. Now I want to retrieve where email is null. How to retrieve? I need to get the contacts where the email is null. So we have seen the limit, right? So how to add a condition here in SQL, SOQL? It's the same like SQL. Do you know SQL? Pragnan, Pruval, do you know?
Yeah.
So in SQL, how we add condition?
Where
Where?
email is null.
where email,
Is
the operator is you can use this is
Equal.
not equal to this is a not equal to operator, or this is also not equal to operator.
okay.
Double equal to.
Yes. No, double equal to is equal operator.
Yeah, you said we would retrieve where the
Email not
email is null, right? Not null. Okay.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, equals null.
Yes.
Very good.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. So email not equal to null.
So it's a space equal to null when you
Yeah,
give a space between single quotes. Okay.
that is fine.
I think we have to mention email with the C underscore, I mean the table name underscore, right?
No.
It's not needed here. Okay.
Yeah. Contact is the standard object, right?
Contact is a standard object.
Okay.
So basically, this is we use this as a null.
Maybe instead of equal to, you can use null, like.
Okay, so this is a not null. We are getting all the 19 records. We are getting not null. So here it is a single equal you can use. Okay. So in this SOQL query, you can use a single query. This is a null. So not null, you can use this not null. This also works. And also the not equal, so you can explanatory mark and equals, not equals null. So here it is retrieving, you can see the number of records. How many records we have? Not null. 19 records not null, right? And equals null, we have 2 records. Okay. Now same query I want to run. Let's say just I don't want to see this all. I want to execute this in my code. Limit 10. I want to execute in program. Here we have written the code, okay, query. This is fine. Now, how I can implement this in Apex? How we can write a SOQL query in Apex? Okay, how we can write a SOQL query in Apex? The same query. I will run the same query. Let me open this anonymous window. Okay. So here I can take a variable list contact. Okay. Con list, the variable name is con list contact. Now what is the variable name? Con list. So con list equals, you can write this query. Okay. So now if I want to retrieve only the, now con list contain all the, oh sorry, I should,
Records of contact.
yeah. Con list contains all the
Records of
all the records of contact, the 10 contact records, not all 10 contact records. How to verify? To check system.debug. Okay. I want to get only con list of 0.
Capital L.
Anything. It's not a
It's not. Okay, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what I am trying to do here?
Getting just the name from the index 0.
First record, right?
Yeah.
So what here it is a list, right? So con list of 0 will retrieve the name, email, phone, and title. So what is the con list here? Rose. This is a Rose. Rose Gonzalez is a name of the contact. Now that I am trying to print. Let me execute. Expected token. What is that? Did I miss anything? Okay, so you can use square braces. Yeah. So debug log, what I get?
The first record.
First record, only name. I'm printing only first record, name. So once you know that, okay, so the con list is contains all the 10 contacts record, you can loop. If I want to loop all 10, right? For loop. Okay, how to now here let's use the for each loop. What is for each loop? We use for each loop, like in here we will start using for each loop. For each loop will use to, if you are using the list of records, if you want to rotate for all the records, if you want to repeat a code for the same, or for every record you want to repeat the same block of code, we can use the for each loop. Can't we use our standard for loop? You can use the standard for loop, or you can use the for each loop, which I'll use the both. You can tell me which one is a good. Now, whenever you are using the for each loop, what records you want to loop? Contact record. So contact C : you have to pass the list of contacts. Where we have the list of contacts? In con list variable. So you have to pass the con list. This is your for each loop. Now, what is a loop control variable? C is a loop control variable. How it will work? Every time the con list, in con list we have a list of records. Each time it will assign one record. First it will assign the 0 index, first index, second index, third index, fourth index, like that. It will repeat for all the index, like all the records, 0 to n minus 1. Okay, so let me print. Now I'm saying system.debug. I'm just saying c.name. What I'm accessing? I'm using now C, because con list will assign, every time it assign a value to C. Now I'm just saying c.name. Contact name. Contact name, c.name. Now let's see how it repeats all the 10 records. Okay. Contact name. Is it repeating for all the records? Is it repeating for all the records?
Yeah, the first 10 records.
First 10 records, because we have given the limit 10, right? We said limit 10. That's why. So here you are getting the list of records. Now you are iterating all the 10 records. You can implement a logic. Whatever the logic you want to implement, you can implement. Right? If you want to implement the logic, now you have all the records. You can update. Okay. So you retrieve the records, you store the records, you are processing the record, and if you want, you can modify the record and you can perform the update operations. You can perform the update operations, update, insert, delete, you can do anything. Okay. Clear, everyone? Is it clear how to retrieve and store the data, how to retrieve and store the data, and how to process the data?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the logic you have to implement in every code. So here we use this for each. This is called for each loop. This is called for each loop. Okay. Let's use. I'm just commenting these lines. Let me use standard for loop for integer I equals to 0. Now, how to with the standard loop? If I'm using the standard loop, how to add what is the condition here? I cannot say I less than 5. I cannot say I less than 10. Okay, I won't give the limit. If I do limit, I can say limit 10. I will not give limit. That means it can be a number of records, right? So how to add this? Any guess? Now I need to see how many records in the list, how to get the number of records. How many records in the list, how to get that? That's why we have to unlearn the list method, set methods, map methods. Okay, so yesterday we worked on it. Remember? Command list dot size. What it returns? The list size, right? List size. Now you know the importance of the methods. Okay. So if if the list size is 5, okay, it returns the 5. You can say I less than or equal to 5. I less than 5. That's okay. Understood? This is also repeat the same thing. This is also repeat the same thing. Okay, it is already retrieved. So let's see what is con list dot size returns. What this returns? System dot debug con list dot size. What it returns? What is returning?
Number of records in the con list. That's 2.
20. It is returning the 21 number. So it returns this for loop will execute how many times? How many records will it insert? So those many times the for loop will execute. Okay, those many times the for loop will execute. So which one is easy? The for each loop or standard for loop? You can use any of this. You can use the standard for loop. You can use the for each loop. In for each loop, the contract with the loop here the loop control variable is I. Here the loop control variable is C. The loop control variable is C. So here you directly pass the list of records, and with the each time the C will hold the one record. You're going to you are going to access that C record. And if you want to check the condition, implement the logic, whatever you want to do, you can do that there. Okay, that's how we write a SOQL statements inside the Apex programming. Is that clear? Let me send you the code. You have to practice every day, at least 1.5 hours is required now. Okay, now tomorrow we'll see like what are the other operators we have in list. Okay, and detail about the list set, not list, sorry, SOQL. Tomorrow will be more focus on SOQL and SOSL queries. Okay, any questions, any queries?
No questions.
Okay, so fine, we can stop the session now. If you don't have queries, we'll connect tomorrow same time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.